What does it mean that you want to be white? What do people mean when they say that exactly?
It's nothing but low IQ African Americans say stupid shit like that. They tell us that we want to be white and that we hate being black. And the way I see it is this: whenever I get that message from a black person, all they're really doing is projecting themselves. They actually hate being black, and they think that fight for black rights is making it better that they hate them fucking selves. You know what I mean? That's the only way I can see it. I still don't understand that comment.
Well, it's rooted on culture. As soon as the moment that you're born, you're automatically a Democrat. And if you do anything remotely close to being educated or speaking properly, everybody says you're whitewashed or you're trying to be white. So that's rooted deep in just the black culture.
Yeah. The reason why the black culture is like behind everybody in this country is because of the culture. It's not because of racism. It's just how they see shit. And the way they see the world is just so off.
And that term racist just puts black people in a trance. It put me in a trance for 30 years until I actually started paying attention. Like they keep saying this bullshit that there's a wage gap between black and white. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's heard of that stupid stat, right? But there's a wage gap between black and everybody else. Everybody else. Not just white, but everyone.
Yeah, there's a wage gap between Asian and white too, and we're not winning that one.
No.
Right.
So,
and I'm saying that wage gap, has nothing to do with racism. It's culture.
Right.
That's just culture.
So I guess I still don't really what are they at the core, their definition of blackness, not as an ethnicity or whatever the fuck, but as
they still think they're African.
Right, but it's a cultural definition, almost like Jews now, who there's a lot of, even in Israel, most of the Jews I know in Israel don't believe in any of that shit anymore. They're just cultural Jews, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not about the religion anymore. And I wonder if it's something like that, where, like you're talking about, it's just so ingrained in the culture. But why would you pick, political parties very rarely, in practice, reflect the rhetoric that they use in public, right? So the the Republicans over the last 25 years or so have been not very conservative. Corporate tax cuts and presiding over the largest expansion of the federal government in history and starting 2 foreign wars, that's not a very conservative thing to do. But we still, I wrote a piece for Newsweek about this today. There's still this belief that left means anti-war and whatever the fuck, and right means pro-war, pro-troop, so on and so forth. But that has not been the case ever in the history of this country. That's not been the case. So I guess maybe it's like that. People just have this idea of what they think the left means because they've started social programs. But doesn't it strike you as odd? Like if somebody was trying to help you, you're in a hole and somebody's trying to help you and they build you a ladder, but it's still 5 feet short of the top of the hole. And they keep throwing the same ladder down all over. Why can't you get out of there, dude? Give me a better fucking ladder. Jackass.
Yeah, and I guess, is that why you guys got into doing what you do? So that there was a black voice from the conservative side that was all right, great. You don't have to live under the thumb of Democrats.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's why we did what we did. But our biggest impact has been on white liberals.
Yeah. Black people, they won't listen. At least a white liberal, you sit down and listen to.
Yeah, black people ain't trying to hear this shit.
Not at all.
They're not trying to hear this at all. No.
Some things will never change. There'll never be peace in the Middle East, and a majority of blacks will never be Republican.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think it'll never change?
It's in our culture. It's in our TV shows.
It's in our movies.
It's in our church. It's in our music. It's everywhere. It's all over. mainstream media is left. These niggas don't stand a chance. They're fucked. They're literally fucked.
You would never see, and the major reason why we came out as Republican, because I want to show blacks that you don't have to think a certain way just because of the color of your skin. We believe I'm successful regardless of who's in office, whether it's a Democrat, Republican. A lot of blacks go to the voting polls for the simple fact that they think the other side is racist and that the Democrat is going to give them a handout like reparations. That's the only reason why these Democrats brought that reparation bull crap up around election time, is because they know it's going to get blacks to come out and vote for them.
Yeah, like Steve Harvey brought him up earlier. When Trump was in office, He said on his radio show, I don't know how many listeners he got, but
He's probably got millions.
he's got a big footprint with the black audience. He said Donald Trump was going to bring back slavery in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, this shit is crazy.
Yeah, even Joe Biden was at it was some black gathering of people. I'm not sure if it was a church, but he said in front of if y'all don't get out the vote, that they was going to put them back in chains.
I mean, yeah, Biden said that, right?
Yeah,
It's
Joe
like
Biden said that.
they say that shit in front of black people, and they're like, yeah, they're going to bring it back. We vote for you, Joe. I mean, it's like they don't get it.
It's that race card over and over. Like eventually,
Yeah.
I mean, you think people say, wait a minute, you said Bush is racist, Trump is racist. I mean, if DeSantis end up either nominated for Republicans, I guarantee you they're going to say he's a white supremacist. They do with every candidate on the Republican side.
Yeah, they keep falling for it.
Yeah, over and over and over again. And since you brought it up, let's get to 2024. Do you think it is Trump again? There was a clip of him yesterday on a golf course about to tee off. I don't know if you saw it, but the guy said, thank you, this is President Trump, 45th President of the United States. And then Trump turned around and goes, well, 45th and 47th. And then he hit a tee shot. Is that signal that he is going to run and that he does want to be president this next go-around?
I think he does.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen him multiple times say he's going to run. I think he's going to run.
Yeah, there's a growing crowd that wants DeSantis, though.
Yeah.
There is. And Dan and I talked about this yesterday. We had a Republican congressional candidate on yesterday. There was a new poll, and I believe Politico, that came out that said out of the Republicans that were polled, DeSantis was still behind Trump by 70 points.
I don't believe polls. Fuck them polls.
Yeah,
I don't believe those polls. Those polls are bullshit.
Yeah,
It depends on who you poll. If you go to a Trump party, of course you can get more than fucking. I don't believe that fucking poll shit.
yeah. I mean,
It's got to be a lot closer than that.
yeah. Like in our comedy shows, like when we're doing meet and greet, people bring up and they ask us, who do you think Trump's going to run? And they always bring up DeSantis. I mean, we don't have to push them that way. They just bring it up.
Yeah, that's because DeSantis does all the same shit that Trump does without his fucking mouth. Like
Yeah.
he's still like stalwart and will respond to criticism very pointedly, but he doesn't
Right.
spend the next 3 days trying to dunk on people on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, fuck. If you could have Antonio Brown with all his bullshit, would you sign him? Fuck yeah, you would.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's essentially what DeSantis is here.
Yeah, the same thing that makes Trump so popular with Republicans is, unfortunately, a lot of things he do that makes him unpopular as well.
Yeah.
But he could probably get a lot more votes, like people that's independent, if he wasn't so, in your face on Twitter. I mean, those things do hurt him.
Yeah. And you could see the big gap too. Like everybody thinks there's 48% Democrat and 48% Republican. Everybody else is in the middle, making up their mind. It's not even close to that. We've seen the swing just 2 weeks ago. How many people now identify as independent or Republican versus independent or Democrat? It's like a 14-point swing just in the last year, in the last calendar year.
7 on each
right?
side, yeah.
That's 14 points, right? That's 14% of a fucking election, right there.
Yeah,
and that would win any presidential election we've ever had. That
Yeah,
kind
even
of
if
swing.
you got 81 million votes, you'd still lose.
Yeah. I mean, but that would change the course or change the result of any election that's ever happened in this country at the federal level, right? So the fact that he is so obnoxious to people that consider themselves centrist, there's no fucking way, man. I don't even think he could get elected at this point.
Well, look, I will say this, and I forget which show I said this on, but not being on Twitter now has almost helped Trump. And it's also helped the Republicans, too, that you don't have a guy with that many followers just constantly fucking, pouring gasoline on the fire. Like,
Right.
We've all seen the text messages between every host at Fox News and Trump's fucking campaign guy, right? Like, hey, tell him shut up. Tell him shut up.
Yep.
Even Don Jr. said, hey, tell him to shut the fuck up.
yeah.
Right?